It was a golden goose that fueled GM's global ambitions, pouring billions into the company's coffers and helping it weather storms elsewhere. The partnership with local firms and a keen understanding of Chinese consumer tastes made GM a dominant force. But in late 2024, that narrative shattered almost overnight. The market that once embraced GM began to slip away, and the company's fortunes reversed with shocking speed. GM announced a staggering $5 billion financial hit, the result of a rapid collapse in its once dominant Chinese operations. The news sent shockwaves through the global auto industry and left investors reeling. This wasn't a minor setback, it was a seismic shift, forcing plant closures, layoffs, and a painful reckoning for a company that had once seemed invincible in China. The end of an era was unmistakable. The speed of GM's decline stunned the industry. What was once a $2 billion annual profit center became a liability almost overnight. Analysts scrambled to explain how such a dramatic reversal could happen so quickly. The world's largest car market had turned volatile, with Chinese consumers flocking to new domestic brands and electric vehicles. GM's old playbook, once so effective, no longer worked in this rapidly changing environment. Now, the company faces a harsh new reality, one where past success offers no guarantees. GM's leadership is under intense pressure to chart a new course and restore confidence. Survival means radical change, not just managing growth. The company must rethink its strategy from the ground up, shedding old assumptions and embracing innovation. GM must salvage what it can and adapt to a far more competitive, unpredictable landscape, one where only the most agile and forward-thinking automakers will survive. It's easy to blame tariffs and trade wars for GM's troubles in China, and for years headlines have focused on the back and forth between Washington and Beijing, but the reality is far more complex than a simple clash of economic policies or political posturing. The real story runs deeper, rooted in the rapid transformation of China's automotive landscape and the shifting priorities of its consumers. The true threat came from within. Homegrown Chinese automakers, fueled by ambitious government policies and massive investment, began to out-innovate and outprice their foreign rivals. These companies weren't just copying, they were setting new standards, pushing boundaries in technology, design, and affordability. Local brands rolled out affordable, tech-packed vehicles that quickly captured the imagination of Chinese consumers, especially the younger generation eager for the latest features and digital connectivity. The market's explosive shift to electric vehicles, driven by aggressive government policy and generous subsidies, left GM's petrol-heavy lineup looking outdated and out of touch with the future. Meanwhile, younger, tech-savvy buyers cared less about foreign prestige and more about seamless digital experiences, bold design and smart connectivity, areas where Chinese brands excelled. GM's offerings, once seen as aspirational, now felt traditional and slow to evolve. In contrast, Chinese brands delivered what buyers wanted: fast, innovative, and tailored to local tastes. The result? GM found itself squeezed out by a perfect storm of local innovation, government support, and rapidly changing consumer preferences. The showroom floors told the story. Empty GM dealerships while Chinese EV brands drew crowds. The lesson is clear. In China, the real competition is homegrown and relentless. For global giants like GM, survival means more than navigating tariffs. It demands constant reinvention in the face of a dynamic, fiercely competitive local market. GM's early success in China was built on a foundation of strategic joint ventures, which allowed the American giant to quickly gain a foothold in the world's largest car market. By partnering with local companies, GM gained access to valuable distribution networks, regulatory know-how, and a deep understanding of Chinese consumer preferences. However, these local partners, once content to learn from their foreign counterparts, soon transformed into formidable competitors, eager to carve out their own share of the booming market. Companies like BYD, Geely, and NIO evolved from apprentices to global contenders, leveraging not only government backing and deep market insight, but also a relentless drive to innovate. With strong support from Beijing, these brands invested heavily in research and development, focusing on electric vehicles and smart technology. BYD especially mastered battery technology and rapidly scaled up production, flooding the market with electric vehicles that perfectly matched Chinese tastes and budgets. Their affordable, reliable EVs quickly became a common sight on city streets. Domestic brands shed their old reputations for cheapness, instead offering stylish, high-tech cars packed with features, often at prices that foreign automakers simply couldn't match. For a new generation of Chinese buyers, foreign brands no longer held the same allure. Value, innovation, and cutting-edge technology became the deciding factors, and local brands delivered on all fronts. Chinese automakers moved at lightning speed, updating models and rolling out new software features far more frequently than their global rivals. This agility kept them ahead in a rapidly changing market. As competition intensified, a brutal price war erupted, slashing profits for everyone, especially foreign brands struggling to keep up with the pace and pricing of their Chinese counterparts. Even deep discounts and aggressive promotions couldn't stop GM's shrinking market share, as more and more buyers turned to homegrown options. The message was clear: in today's China, it's the local champions who set the pace, driving innovation and shaping the future of the automotive industry, not just at home, but increasingly on the global stage. China's electric vehicle revolution was swift and overwhelming, catching legacy automakers like GM off guard. While GM clung to its profitable petrol models, Chinese brands like BYD and NIO raced ahead with affordable, innovative EVs. Chinese consumers began to see cars as smart, connected devices, expecting seamless tech, over-the-air updates, and futuristic design. Local EV makers excelled at software and user experience, while GM's offerings lagged behind. As EV sales soared, demand for traditional cars plummeted, leaving GM stuck in a shrinking market segment. The company's slow EV rollout and reliance on old models became a glaring weakness. GM's misalignment with China's electric future directly fueled its financial crisis. In the new era, software and speed, not just engines, defined success. A cultural revolution swept through China's car market, and GM struggled to keep up. Buick once symbolized status for older buyers, but a new generation wanted something different: bold design, digital features, and seamless connectivity. For these younger, tech-savvy consumers, cars became extensions of their digital lives, not just transportation. Chinese brands, unburdened by legacy systems, delivered cutting-edge tech and rapid updates. GM's vehicles, though reliable, felt dated and less intuitive. The buzz shifted to local brands like NIO and XPeng, leaving GM's image stuck in the past. Failing to capture the imagination of new buyers, GM's market share continued to erode. GM's fall in China is a story told by numbers, and they're brutal. From a 15% market share in 2015, GM slid to just 8.6% by 2023, losing its grip on the world's biggest auto market. Profits that once topped $2 billion a year vanished, replaced by mounting losses. In just 1 year, vehicle sales dropped by over 116,000 units, forcing plant closures and layoffs. Underused factories became a financial drain, leading to a $5 billion write-down and restructuring charge in 2024. This wasn't just an accounting move, it was a public admission that GM's China dream had soured. Years of missed trends and slow adaptation caught up, ending GM's golden era. The numbers don't lie, GM's dominance is over. Now it's fighting just to stay relevant. With losses mounting, GM's leadership knew drastic change was needed. The new plan: shrink, focus, and survive. GM is closing underused plants, cutting costs, and shifting its strategy from mass-market dominance to targeted, profitable niches. The future lies in premium and electric vehicles, especially Cadillacs and next-gen Buicks built on GM's Ultium EV platform. The goal is to compete on technology and design, not just price or volume. GM's China business must now stand on its own, without lifelines from Detroit. The company's bet, a smaller, smarter GM can still carve out a future in China's hyper-competitive market. It's a high-stakes gamble, and a cautionary tale for global brands everywhere.